kick off proceedings on this Tuesday afternoon with the Magic Millions boss of WA, Dave Houston. G'day, Dave.
Good morning, Gareth. How are you?
Good, thank you, mate. What did you make of the WA sale?
Look, I was quite pleased with it. Certainly it was going to be a little bit softer this year. That's the way all the sales have gone, but it was very strong. The people were really struggling to buy a horse. In fact, a couple of them wanted to put their hands in the air and go back and lie beside the pool at the Crown Towers. That's how they felt about it. But no, it was strong for the good horses, that's for sure.
Yeah, and we've seen that all around the country at the moment. If you've got a good horse, that it will sell well, and if you haven't, you'll struggle.
Exactly, and we've been working hard over here over the last number of years to upgrade everything and get the quality stock. And I mean, the last 2 years, Gareth, we've been the only sale in Australasia that's actually had increases in all the metrics. So, it's pretty hard to keep breaking records. That's what we set out to do, but we still were very pleased with the result.
So the average was 88, just slightly down from 2024. The median was 10,000 down from 2024. And you grossed just over 13 million compared to the 14 million. So under the circumstances in today's climate, it's been a pretty good sale, I would imagine.
Yeah, that was book one, obviously. Yep. But, we were just a couple of million down on the whole gross. But our clearance was 84%. So we've cleared 84%. The Classic sale cleared 82%. The Gold Coast cleared 80%, and NZB cleared 78%. So, we're still getting good support from the locals over here. And sure, I think that, there were still some horses there that sold a little bit under their value, but that'll be proven on the racetrack shortly, and those people will have a good result and come back again next year, hopefully.
Obviously, the Parnham stables, or Neville Parnham, he was busy. He was the leading buyer. He spent $1.4 million there at the sale, old Nifty. He was on fire. Yeah,
no, he did. I travelled around with him for a couple of weeks looking at horses, and, he's always going to retire. He's been going to retire for the last 10 years, I reckon. But anyway, he put his hand up and very strong. It's he's been around for a while. He knows what he's doing, and he hopped into those horses, the quality horses, and he'll be strong for the next few years, which is very, very pleasing for the whole industry, really.
And it was great to see Playing God, like we saw in Tasmania there yesterday. They're crying out for a stallion there, but WA have got Playing God. They had Blackfriars before him, and when you have a look at the top lots, he's leading the way there. He sold a colt worth $450,000. He sold another one worth $400,000. And then he also sold another colt worth $300,000. So he had a wonderful sale, the champ.
Oh, he did. He did. It's actually interesting how, it's such a fashion industry. He was always going to be popular, but, Machino came in on the second day and really shot the lights out too. So we've got, a few stallions here. We've got our young horses obviously coming through, which, people are cautious about. But I think that, the next few years with our established stallions and the young stallions coming through, we are in a pretty reasonable position. And as you say, look, some of the other states, particularly sort of down in Tassie, they need the same, but it takes a bit of work, that's for sure.
What's the confidence levels amongst the industry participants at the moment?
Oh, I think it's strong. It's got to be. If these fellows are spending, $450,000, $400,000, as you say, on yearlings that are unproven. They came from everywhere. Really, it's as I say that like the Pierce boys paid $400,000 for a horse, and it was sold within. They had their open day on Sunday morning. They needed more of that horse to sell. It just got snapped up. So there's obviously confidence, particularly at that top level.
Yeah, and it seems like you got a lot of the younger brigade coming through, like the Fernies, Luke Fernie. He was spending a lot of money, say, on the Gold Coast as well, and the Pierce boys, the Kinjemi stable, they were pretty active, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. They really hopped in. they spent about 660,000 all up, which is good. And Danny Morton, he hung in, and Ryan Hills, they were great. And Wolfie, he doesn't need another horse, but he bought a heap of them too.
Yeah, he said he was quieting down, the old Wolfie, but there's no stopping him.
No, it'll keep him alive for a while, that's for sure. But no, look, I think overall it was good. As obviously, as we just said, the popular ones are very popular, and those that aren't are less popular. But that's the way it's been here. We're selling the same number of horses every year, but and having those big few sales the last couple of years, very hard to keep that momentum up. But I still think it was very strong, very strong.
Well, Dave, you rest up. It's been a busy couple of weeks. Magic Millions Day, you start with the race day, and then obviously you got the inspections and the sales a little later on the week these days. I know you started that was that last year was the first time it was on a Thursday and Friday?
No, we've had it for a couple of years.
Yeah.
We got forced back, due to other sales dates and that sort of thing. And it does make it a bit of a longer stretched out time. But, it works, and, we're not going to fix something that's not broken. But anyway, it's been good. So,
Yep.
Now we head to Adelaide in a couple of weeks. So that'll be a bit of fun over there as well.
Never ends. Thanks for your time, Dave. We appreciate it as always.
Please do chat anytime, Gareth. You take care.
There's a great man, Dave Houston. Our next guest is the man they call the Boy Hill. Ryan Hill joins us. G'day, Ryan.
G'day, man. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. The big question is, everybody wants to know, are you going to the Valley Friday night, or are you going to headquarters Saturday afternoon for the Australian Guineas with your Iron Feeling London's image?
At this stage, we're just waiting for they extended the noms for the Valley on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But at this stage, we'll go the Valley on Friday, and then the following Saturday there's a Group 2 fillies race. So we'll probably do that.
So it's exciting, mate. Is your first runner in the Eastern States?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Obviously the plan was to go out after the Magic Millions, but just speaking with Brad, and he just said, we just had a look at a few different options, and we were both keen to sort of head over and see how she'd go.
Yeah, and when she's flying like she is, why wouldn't she? And as you pointed out before, I reckon, you got to make the most of these fillies in form, and when she's doing what she's been able to do, because there's still a strong possibility, and we've seen it so often, that they might not come back, basically.
Yeah, no, exactly right. She might not. I mean, we hope she does, but look, after the Magic Millions, obviously it was very unfortunate what happened before the race. Brad fell off, won the race before, so couldn't ride her, and she's only just gone down, and then she's just so tough. She pulled up, she'd eaten everything. We put her in the paddock at home. She was happy as. So then when we looked at them options, the only 3-year-old once, there was there's sort of 2 or 3 races for her. Her distance range, she's so good from 12 or from 1100 really to 1600. So, yeah, she settled in beautifully in Melbourne. They're really happy. She had a bit of work this morning, and, she's going along nicely.
So does Brad ride her?
Yep, he'll go. If she goes Friday, Brad will come over and ride, and Saturday same. But like I said, we're leaning towards Friday. So we've got to stick loyal with your mates, Gareth.
Yeah,
you know that.
I would know 100%. I would put him on. I was just hoping he would stay loyal to you, because he'd be giving up a few nice rides on a Saturday afternoon. But it looks like he can do both, I guess.
Yeah, that'll be the plan. So if we run Friday, and then the following Saturday is actually a Bunbury meeting over here. So it works out pretty well for us if all going well. But if we didn't run her Friday, we'd have to jump her out just because she'd be too fresh for the mile. As you know what her racing style's like, mate. She's just well, even over there, she's staying with Simon Zara. Victoria's over there looking after her, and they can't believe, she landed off the plane, and he's she just smashed her feed, bouncing around. She's not naughty, but she's just that well in herself. He just can't believe. You look at the campaign she's had, and the way she looks and the way she's handled herself, it's really good. She's
a remarkable thoroughbred when you talk about her like that, really.
Yeah, no, she is. And I tell you what's been really nice, the support from people. It's amazing how many people follow her. Yeah, I suppose because she makes her own luck. If they want to go too fast, like she won first up taking the sit, but she makes her own luck. She has them chasing from the 600, sort of unique horse, and yeah, she's just so tough, you know. So what we're hoping is we go over there, no one gives us any respect, so you just tell everyone we're no good, and we'll put 3 or 4 on them on the corner, and they won't be able to run her down.
And Moonee Valley will suit her, especially if it's playing like it has been. They won't catch her. They won't know which way she'll go there on Friday night.
Yeah, no, they'll get a shock because she can rock and roll, especially if we don't normally light her up out the gates because but if Brad gives her a dig, she can fly. And the good thing is the 1200 at the Valley, you know, she runs out a strong 12. Like she's only just been beaten in the Guineas over here, so you're not frightened of, you're not thinking, we're going to be paddling the last bit. She'll be hitting the line hard.
You'll have a couple of runs here and then she'll keep on backing up and eating up and then you'll decide to go to Adelaide and then Sydney, then Brisbane basically with her.
Yeah, well, I should do as much travelling as you, wouldn't she?
Yeah.
She'll be everywhere at every different race meeting.
So, is it just 2 runs locked in or are you just open-minded with her because you just like she's different gravy to the rest?
No, look, 2 runs are locked in. That's I'd say, we'll get through Friday night. Like I say, we're just waiting for that final field to come through, and then we'll have a go Saturday. The horse that Laney won on the other day for Yulong looked pretty good. In the 1400, I suppose they'd be going there, but
they might be going to Sydney.
Do you reckon they go to Sydney?
Yeah, there's a chance they might be getting to Sydney early. So obviously she's the.
You tell them that. You tell them to go to Sydney, Gareth.
I will, 100%. Obviously she's very good. The Oaks filly for Yulong, and Yulong, everything they're doing at the moment is just turning into gold. But treasure of the moment, that was some performance on first up to win that race at Caulfield. So I heard they might be going to Sydney.
Well, she's knocked off the Yulong colours over here before, Errol, so we're not scared of, you know me and Bradley, we're not scared, mate. We'll have a go, and we've looked like idiots before, so it won't matter.
You might be, there's a lot of good 3-year-old fillies. Chris Waller's got 2 of the superstars at the moment, and I think Lady Shenandoah's really good, but my mail is that Autumn Glow's I don't know if she was described to me as a generational type of horse, but she's definitely a horse that comes along once in a decade. My mail is Autumn Glow, so we haven't seen her just yet, but they'll have to catch her. I don't know if you'll meet those horses if you ever go to Sydney, but she's going to be mighty hard to catch at the Valley, mate. I'm telling you. Yeah,
well, look, that's the plan. So, like I say, it was definitely plan B. I'm not going to say, we've set her for that or anything silly, but just the way she's pulled up and the way she's raced, and because you follow our carnival over here, she raced 5 times in November and didn't miss. Every time she turned up and done her thing. So there's no reason that we'll have a throw at the stumps. That she's shown no reason why she can't be competitive over there. And the problem is here now, the distance range is the next one for the fillies is 1800, which, we don't want to put her on an Oaks path. She's an out and out, 16's her maximum distance, So and if I can get a group race with her over there, adds a lot of value to her broodmare status.
What about Victoria's over here? Can she ride track work? Of course, Flemington with fast work and she probably doesn't need much fast work, but Damien Lane or Freddie Kersley, any of the local boys put their hand up to help you out?
No, Victoria, like I say, Victoria went over. She does. I normally ride her a slow work, and Victoria does all her gallops. So she's over there with. She's very good friends with Simon Zara's partner. So they've been fantastic. Honestly, they've really helped us out a lot. So Demi there. So Victoria's been in there. She gave her a gallop this morning just up the straight on the grass there. She. From all reports, Victoria was happy. Simon was happy. So that's good. And. Victoria's just cruising around, riding a bit of work over there and enjoying herself.
When did we see? Do you come over?
Yeah, I'll be there on Friday night. Absolutely.
Night. So you ride Friday?
You might buy me a drink.
100%. I'll be there on Friday. Obviously Charlotte, you know Charlotte really well from her WA days. Charlotte Mills, she looks after Moonee Valley, so she loves the WA people there. So you'll be looked after like a king. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't miss it, Gareth, because it's not every year you get a horse that you can take over and you think can be competitive. So me and Brad will both head over for Friday, and then I'd say Brad and Victoria they'll fly out Friday night because they'll be riding So, but if she happens to win, I don't think I'd be on the plane Friday night.
No, you shouldn't be. Now, can you just tell me, can you take us through the inner sanctum here, or take us inside the inner sanctum of what happened there on Magic Millions Day? Because I was laughing, and well, not laughing, but I wanted to, I thought this would be really interesting. So, unfortunately, and it was so sad that Brad went down. So then you got no jock, all right? Did Jason Brown approach you, or did you approach him?
No, look, Brownie was Brownie he had one ride in the last, okay, and it had 58 kilos.
Yeah.
So I went to Jason was walking in. I said, mate, can you ride me horse for me? He said, well, weight's he got? I said, 55. He said, I don't even know if I can ride the weight. So luckily he was light enough. He borrowed all of Brad's gear, and he said to me, he said, mate, I'm sorry you've ended up with me. I said, mate, don't be like that. Like, be positive, you know.
Yeah.
It revved him up a bit, you know, and but I did warn him. I said, mate, she's not an easy horse to ride, and you know, because you've seen what she can do. She can lay off a bit. She can, like, look when Declan rode her. You know, he's a good rider, and she catches you out. You don't think you're going as fast as you are. So he come in and he was pretty gutted. You know, he thought that was maybe one that got away, but no, it's a tricky one. You know, late on in the piece and. To pick up a ride like that, it's not always easy, but it was good. We see a bit of old Brownie because a couple of them young kids try kicking up inside him, and he said he went back to old school, and he just said no, because they don't see Brownie like that.
No.
They see him. He's more sedate these days, you know.
No.
But when they try kicking up inside him, he said no, you don't do that, and he just flattened them, and he just reminded them that he can still.
Did he get a holiday?
Yeah, he got a holiday. Yeah. But he's just reminding them, listen here, young fellas, I'm still around. You know?
And you know, we always had some fun with Brownie. Like, he was always miserable when I was over there, but I loved Brownie, and it was great. And I know you're great mates with him, mate. Like, and to put him on.
He's always miserable. It don't matter what happens. He's always whinging about something, you know. Between him and Jimmy, they've always got something to complain about. That's why they get on so well.
And I love Brownie. It would have been great to see him team up with you, and I don't think he rode her that bad. Obviously, he went to the centre of the track. I thought Brownie did everything he possibly could, but I was just laughing because usually when Brownie goes to the front, he does put the handbrake out, doesn't he? He just starts to walk.
Yeah. You can't put the handbrake out her, mate. You got to go with her, sort of thing. But I don't think he's ever gone that fast in a race.
No,
you know, he's normally him and Jimmy. It's like normally find the front, stack them up, and then dash off the corner. You know, so it's the first time he's ever been in he's 50 odd years old. First time he's ever been in a genuine run 1200 metre race.
Yeah, God bless Brownie. So I thought he was a little stiff not to keep the ride, but I can understand Brad. You know, he was. What would Brownie have kept the ride if he won?
No. Look, it's always been. She races in Sarah Pun, like Sarah, that's Brad's wife, races in her colours. It's always been Brad's ride. So even when Victoria, but when Victoria won the Burgess Queen, even she knew it was Brad's ride. You know what I mean? It's just. She sort of caught Brad by surprise how good she went, and Brad had sort of committed to Ron's final flutter. Yeah. So and I respect that. And he also, he's a smart man, Bradley. He also knows that at any time he can get back on mine, whereas, you know, it's not always the way with others.
He takes you for granted, really, because he knows that you love him, and you'll never, ever, like, as soon as he says, Ryan, I want to ride this horse, you have to put him on. You got the cash the other day, didn't you, at Bunbury? One off the map that got the job done.
Yeah, no, that was good result. Yeah, there was plenty of money for that. So, we're ticking along.
Hey, you lost my number, obviously. How'd you go at the sales? You're pretty busy.
Yeah, no, the sales were good. Like, as you know, our sale over here is pretty different to everywhere else just because you got the West Speed and things. But, we bought a few nice ones. Happy with what we got. So I think we ended up with 15 in the end. So, most of them are sold. But, no, it was a good sale over here.
So you're having a crack, mate.
I think you got to. One thing I decided when I first started, like, as you know, I rode for sort of 12 years over here, and I've seen some trainers, you have a go and they find one horse and then, they never really get anywhere. So I like, you know me, I'll have a go, and if it doesn't work out, at least I can say I'll really give it a crack, you know. Yeah, and I've been lucky. Like, really great support from owners and things. Yeah, it's been good so far.
It was interesting because you saw some of the stables like like Luke and Peter Fernie, and Luke's having a crack, and the Pierce brothers, but I thought like Grant and Lana Williams was sort of quiet a little bit, and Simon Miller he wasn't that active at that sale as well, which I found interesting. Jimmy only bought one or two.
Yeah, no, he did, yeah. But, I mean, look, he'll probably go to English, I guess, But, no, like Luke, Lukey's not shy. He's already had and he's a good trainer, He's had a crack at the Gold Coast. He always buying up. Nifty keeps us all in our place, though, over here. He's the king of the West, if anyone if he wants a horse, don't worry, if he just gets it, you know what he's like. So, for a man that was retiring 5 years ago, he's still going pretty strong, isn't he?
And he just doesn't care, and he does care. But, geez, I don't know if he got in a little bit of trouble. I had a few people get in contact with me with the little, like he's a smart man, how he put Kaz's name in that filly because he knew it was pretty good, so you get the girls' bonus. That was Nifty at his very best.
Yeah, look, no one's got more tricks than Nifty, so don't try and beat him,
I forgot to ask Jerry about that. I wonder if they're going to put that clause back. They're going to put a clause in so you can't do that anymore, but only Nifty could do that. So he spent just over $1 million. So do you reckon Stevie will take over soon, or you reckon Nifty's still got a few more years left?
No, Nifty will keep going, mate. There's no way. There's no chance he's slowing down. He loves it too much.
And Wolfie was meant to be slowing down, and he sped up.
Yeah, I got 50. I won 50 off Wolfie. We were down at Albany the other day, and I tipped him my horse. I told him it'd win, right?
Yeah.
And then after, I said, you're going to sales. He said, I won't buy any more than 5. I said, right. I said, I'll take a bet. And they said, I'll bet you 50. He said, there's no chance. So he's seen me halfway through. We're only halfway through day one, and he goes, I owe you 50.
One of the greats. He's had a heart attack, and he's just bounced back. Obviously, that was a wake-up call for the great man. He's never been better.
Yeah, no, look, and Wolfie's a great character. You need characters in racing, mate, because otherwise it becomes very boring, So, and Wolfie's he's a fantastic character. He always speaks his mind. You know where you're at with Wolfie. If there's a problem, he'll let you know, and he's a good fella. And it's good to see Albany's up and running again. It would be interesting to get Wolfie's thoughts on about that situation, what's been happening there. But it looks like they're going to have their meeting back for their Bluff Knoll meeting, which is good news for everybody involved. Yeah, it is, because, it's a strong race club. Obviously, Mount Barker's had its issues, but, Albany's good, always supported by big trainers. There's good trainers down there that sort of that train out of the complex. So, we don't really want to be losing Albany because it's one that's not too far away from Perth, and, we don't want to be losing that. Geez, this has turned back the clock, boy, here. We'll have to get our show back. What did we call it all those years ago? Oh, I don't know, but it was very popular. Remember the time you got in the spa? Yeah, I did. I nearly died, yeah. Yeah, I showed someone that video. A week later. Yeah, you were sick for the next week. I was. I remember I didn't turn up for work. Because I think Scotty Hamilton still got it on the social, you can still find it on Facebook, but, geez, that was fun. We might have to do that once again. It'll be interesting. What are you weighing now? Walking around 61. Oh, you could still probably ride if you want. Yeah, I could, but I'll leave that to Bradley and I'll do the training. Yeah, well, you keep up the good work, mate. Geez, I'm loving you having a crack. No, well, we don't buy Wonder and Gareth, and I'll get that drink off you Friday night. Have you got any of those horses that you need to sell? You can sell them right now if you want. What do we do? How do we get involved? Oh, you can look on our Facebook page. There's a few still there, but obviously, actually, I've had a few people from Melbourne jump in, which has been fantastic. That's what happens when you come on our show. Yeah, no, well, they said they don't mind coming over to Perth for a holiday. So, and this has been a good learning experience for us as well. First time we've travelled a horse away. So, I think we'll do it more often. Just looking at the fields over there, if we got especially the 2-year-olds, if we got a couple that we think are going all right, especially now we've got that connection with Simon Zara. It won't be fun to do it. But, get in touch on the Facebook page or Twitter and, we'll find your fast horse. And we're on 7+ now. I'm doing a show with Peter Anthonisz. I'm only filling in. I think Miles Fitz is going to do it after that. It's called Wednesdays in the West show, where we have a little bit of fun, just concentrate on WA racing.
So I might stir the pot. I might only do the show once, but it's good to do WA racing once again. But we might have a bit of fun, Boy Hill. So we'll stir it.
Yeah.
We'll stir them up. No one want to be riding a bad ride tomorrow afternoon. I'll give you the tip.
Yeah, exactly right. You let them know.
Oh, we'll see you, brother.
No worries. Take care, mate. Thank you.
Great to catch up with Ryan Hill. So London's Image to go around at Moonee Valley on Friday night. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow afternoon because it's the first ever. Well, this is a new show that'll be on 7 Plus and on the SEN track platforms. And it's a show that I think everybody should be excited about. I'm excited about anyway. I'm only doing it for the first week. And Peter Anthonisz will be on every week with Miles Fitzner. It's Wednesdays in the West show where you have a look at, of course, you cover the Wednesday afternoon meeting in Western Australia, and then you start to preview the Saturday meetings as well. You look back at the last Saturday meeting as well in WA, so it's a bit of a preview and review show as well. And Peter Anthonisz joins me, who will be the star of the Wednesdays in the West show. Hello to you, Pete.
Yeah, g'day, Gareth.
I'm looking forward to it come tomorrow afternoon.
Look, I'm looking forward to it as well. I think we're at that nice time of year as well where the Wednesday racing is starting to just throw out a couple of these nice 3-year-olds. So we've got a few features in line over the next couple of months. And look, I think just to go through and dissect the weekend in and give the viewers the full amount of detail required to find some winners going forward, I think it should be good. So I'm looking forward to it and kicking off tomorrow.
And we'll have some fun too. As I said to Ryan Hill just before, just turn back the clock from working in the WA days when we had yourself and Brittany Taylor. Boy Hill used to join me on radio and we used to stir the pot a little bit. And I think we'll be stirring the pot, I reckon, come tomorrow afternoon.
That sounds good to me. I mean, you're an honorary WA citizen yourself, Gareth.
Yes.
I think I might have lost my citizenship moving across the country. But no, look, I mean, it's never a dull moment in WA, and a good man to have on the show as well, Boy Hill, just getting an insight into what he's doing with London's Image.
No, he's going to Moonee Valley Friday night.
Okay. I really like that setup as well, because Moonee Valley, the last couple of meetings, certainly no disadvantage to being on speed. And let's face it, he's got a match-fit horse. She'll be giving a bit of cheek, I imagine, out in front.
So he definitely goes Friday night. Then he'll back up a week later. Brad Parnham's been booked for both rides, so that's great. So they're going to keep the band together. And he says that the horse is flying, just keeps on doing the remarkable in a way. She's not getting tired. In fact, the more that you work her and the more that you race her, the happier that she is.
Yeah, and one of those rare sort of base London's Image. I mean, we've seen obviously quite a few of those runners over east. I don't think we've seen one necessarily in the west for quite some time, but those horses that you can just put on speed and get the rest of the field gasping off the bit coming in towards the turn. And then it's exciting to watch first and foremost, but they're just really dangerous horses to be able to tactically try and combat in run. What are you meant to do? Do you let them go out to this extended lead and hope they're just actually going as fast as what they appear, or do you try and sit within striking distance? It's a bit of a difficult one for rival trainers. So yeah, full credit to Boy Hill. He's found something in this horse that I don't think anyone necessarily thought was there as a 2-year-old. It's always difficult when they're 2-year-olds. You're not exactly sure what they've got under the hood, but he's really been able to find this new level that I don't think anyone necessarily thought that he had there, or she had there. So, full credit to the team there with Boy Hill.
And I tell you what, he's having a crack, Boy Hill. He bought a lot at the sales there the other day, and he said to me earlier on in the show that he's not going to die wondering.
Well, look, the rewards are there if you can pick the right horses, especially in the juveniles, 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds. Obviously, there's plenty of good money there with West Speed. Look, the sales year after year, we're seeing some good results there. Look, Boy Hill, he's got obviously his team, reasonably small but select team, I guess it's fair to say, but he's obviously been busy over the last couple of years, and we're starting to see that on the track as well.
Tell me this, mate. What were the performances the top 3 performances of last weekend? Where do we start?
Well, look, I mean, we've got some interesting races here. We've got the Challenge Stakes due to the Lex Piper and also the 1,000 Guineas, which is next Sunday at Ascot. But then we've also we've got the the race that will be basically the lead up to the Bunbury Cup, I suspect, for a lot of these in the Detonator. And I think we'll start with the Detonator because this is a really deep race to unpack. They've basically gone barrier trial speed for a good half of this race, and then they've just had to accelerate over the last 400. So Antique Miss has given an absolute peach by Chris Barnum. He basically just got the horse out of the gate, was hunting one out, one back. He managed to find it early and then just presented her into the turn when they started to just slow a little bit up front and kept momentum into the straight. He's actually caused a little bit of compression through the back of the field with a few horses that weren't as quick to get off the mark. So Sensational, which William Pike was on board, was stalking the winner Antique Miss and Run. He just gets squeezed at about the 600 or so and just loses a bit of momentum. We saw some other horses back in the field, like a Demolish, was never really in the race, but did some nice things late over the last 200. And if I wanted to throw out a couple of Maddies. Obviously, Blazing Away has won the Bunbury Cup last couple of years and would be going for, 3 in a row, I suspect. And, we'll wait and see if that's going to be achievable. But another horse, Alaskan God, who could have been anything at one point in time, was just a fascinating bit of work there. Luke Campbell got him off from about 4 or 5 wide, coming right before the turn. He's made a huge amount of ground there through about the 1,000 to the 400 and then just peaked in the straight. But if you go through all of those splits, he's had a huge amount of acceleration there. There was a little bit of money at odds for him early, and I just wonder if the camp has got him back going somewhere near his best. He was never going to be winning with that tempo there on Saturday, but I wonder if he'll be best suited just going up to the 2,000 at Bunbury. Look, I wouldn't count him out, and I think we'll get a big price to find out as well. So just a little Maddie there going towards the Bunbury Cup.
Love it. The Bunbury Cup's one of my favourite races, favourite race meetings, and it's such an important day for the local community as well. What else caught your eye there from the weekend's racing in the West?
Well, I mean, the Challenge Stakes was the other obvious one, the 3-year-old feature. Look, Deal Her In just basically reversed that starting price profile. We often talk about that with a lot of the Eastern States racing, horses that start dominant favourite. And look, Deal Her In, the start prior, had excuses against all grunt, but did start on that occasion $2.20. So it was drifted out to double figures there on the weekend and got the job done and really won quite effortlessly. I mean, the last couple of 100 metres or so, Sean O'Donnell just really, once she took over at the 200, he just basically sat up on her late and was still too good. I guess this field, obviously, completely different stages of preparation. We saw Flower of Gold resuming. Another horse in Olympic Park has pulled up lame. There was a little bit of an excuse there afterwards, so we'll wait and see if that runner keeps going this preparation. But look, the other horse that I thought was a big flashing light, I don't know where they're going to take her next start, but Glasgow Lass, again, not suited. The market was firm on her late. She just bombed the start and just got into a really awkward position, was badly held up into the straight, and yet the last couple of 100 metres she was making good ground. I'm not sure what the tactics or what the plan will be with her next start, so we've got a couple of different features I guess she can target, whether she steps up in distance or if they try and drop her back. She's the one that I want to follow, but gee, I'll tell you what, the first 5 across the line here are all pretty handy horses, and there's a bit of excitement there in the 3-year-old ranks.
Beautiful. What'd you make of that classic race at Pinjarra on Sunday?
Well, I mean, look, Snowdome's just back and dominating.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. We're still waiting for some of the data to filter through, but look, his last win before that Pinjarra Classic really just stamped his best figures, right back to near that level. And it just looks like he's just been able to do it once more. And I guess there was that small query as to the 1,300. He's probably been more an established sprinter, but I did hear Neville Parnham after the race saying that they've just worked out a few of the mental kinks with him. He just seems to be relaxing a lot better, so that the extra distance isn't really a problem for him anymore. He's just a more sound, mature horse.
Love your work, mate. Looking forward to tomorrow already. It should be a lot of fun with this new TV show on 7+ as we cover Wednesday's racing there in the West. And, it should be a heap of fun.
Cool. Looking forward to it, Gareth. I'll see you then.
Wednesdays in the West coming up tomorrow, of course. It's a 4-hour show on a Wednesday afternoon covering the Wednesday meeting in Western Australia. West. It was great to catch up with Gary Hall Jr. on the weekend. He was mighty in defeat in the first ever running of the Ultimate Driver Champion, where he finished second behind Angus Garrett, who represented SEN Track, of course, and Garrett's Horse and Hound and won equine. Of course, Junior represented Gloucester Park, and he joins us. Hey, Junior, well done on the weekend. I'm so happy for you to finish second.
Thanks,
Thanks. I was wondering, would I be on if I had a won?
Definitely not. Now, we did have a bet. Everyone reminded me, Gareth, what did Junior pay up for his bet just yet? And you haven't yet, Junior.
I took it off what you owed me.
Hey?
Hey? I took it off what you owed me.
That's a lie. Oh, you're unbelievable, really. But what about, did you have fun, Junior, in all seriousness?
Probably the best fun I've had at a meeting for, I don't know how long. Adam Hampton and I walked out of the nightclub or the pub we're at there all together on the Saturday night. I think we walked out about 4:30 or something, didn't we, Gareth?
Oh, I was home earlier than you, but I heard you had to wait for a long time to get McDonald's.
Yeah, anyway, we just turned to each other and Adam said that was just like the old days. That was we thought they'd gone, but that was winding back the clock short for sure. I felt sort of like Hunter Cutman when it was at the Valley days, that did.
Yeah.
Had a real good feel about it and everyone got along really well. And, yeah, the voice still hasn't recovered, but, looking forward to doing it all again one day.
Yeah, playing like driving alongside Bjorn Goop and Dexter Dunn and Yannick Gingras, and those internationals really embraced the series as well. And then to see the results with the turnover it was a massive success, and I think it's only going to get bigger and better each year.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope so. It was well done by the David Brick and the Albion Park crew. It was for something that was the first running. I thought they nailed it, and I guess they'll probably tinker with it a little bit where they think they need to. But as far as the drivers were concerned, and as you mentioned, the turnover, I don't think they could have hoped for a better result. And those international guys, they just add that different flavour to those events, and they were all such good guys, They just happy to go out of their way to talk to everyone and meet the fans, there was plenty on course on the night, and only too grateful to help and speak to you about your drives or anything like that. And Yannick and Dexter were great, and he was awesome. He did so well for someone who hasn't sat behind a pacer for so long. He was. It took him a little while to find his feet, but once he did, I said to him afterwards, I was glad there wasn't a night 3 because I reckon he would have done us all.
Yeah, he was unbelievable, Bjorn Goop, and he's a legend of the game in Sweden. And you're right, and the horses that he drove as well, he definitely overachieved, and he finished in the top 5. What was going through your mind, Junior? You nearly stole it. The kid, Angus Garrett, he led for most of the way, but you just kept on coming at the back end of the tournament, and you basically took it down to the last race.
Yeah, I said after night 1, the boys had definitely warned me that my night 1 drives were better than night 2. So, where we were hoping to sort of be on top of the table at the end of night 1, and we're sitting second, but I just didn't want to drop too far down. And halfway through the second night, we were leaking oil bad, and just had a couple in a row, that Miracle Moose and then the mare that got up led and won. Once that happened, we sort of secured the top 3 finish, and we could sort of relax a little bit. I heard Senior was pretty nervous about it. He didn't want me, plummeting down the ranks, but
you would embarrass him, but you did well.
He was starting to wish he'd called me something else.
Yeah. And he hated me giving it to you as well. So, and then Jason Grimson come on the show and he said, well, he doesn't respect the WA horses, and that fired up Senior even more. And then I just went on with it just to egg him on a little bit, Grimo, and then it was a lot of fun, and Senior steam, you could see the steam coming out of his ears, that you can't disrespect WA harness racing. And I said, Senior, just relax. It's all about the theatre.
Yeah, he gets a bit wound up. I think it's his age showing now, but he has always been that way, and he's pretty passionate about not just our horses, just the WA horses in general. So he'll. But hopefully we can at least put up a bit of a fight this year. I think we've got a pretty strong hand. Smarty looks like he's come back pretty good, and hopefully he's a bit stronger again. And I think he should be able to match it with him, no problem.
Well, I just hope for your sake that you don't that WA doesn't get embarrassed by the Eastern Staters, because I'm a big WA fan. I'd love WA to win on their home turf. So I back you in, Junior. Hey, as always, mate, it's a pleasure and well done. You did WA and Gloucester Park proud. You were terrific for the championship on and off the track, and there's only one G Hall Jr.
Thanks, Gareth. Appreciate it.
There's
Cheers.
Gary Hall Jr. And that wraps up the best from the West on this Tuesday, all thanks to W Racing WA. Tune into Racing WA TV on 7+, your ultimate destination for everything racing in the West. And that wraps up the show. Thanks for your company. We'll do it again next week.